Because there are reports of an active shooter situation in San Bernardino, California. It happened at the Inland Regional Center, which is
with multiple people wounded. They've set a triage.
So we're getting lots of reports, Greta, that indicate this is not yet over. Clearly, authorities
A nation grappling once again with scenes of bloody chaos after another mass shooting.
I worked as a plan checker for San Bernardino County, assisting them with both reviewing plans and then conducting the subsequent final inspections and preliminary inspections as far as they related to construction.
When I was here a couple weeks ago, I was helping out with food facility inspections, so the routine inspections, also some complaint investigations, and I was working at a Rancho Cucamonga at the time. This time around, I'll be here for about a week, and I'll be doing pool inspections in Victorville.
Initially, our job was to meet with public health, San Bernardino public health officials and get their priorities and integrate that with department priorities and develop a plan to manage that workload.
Okay, it's in San Bernardino County. I am actually here as a supervisor. So I am supervising contract employees that the county has brought in to assist them with meeting their inspection goals and their responding to their complaints and things like that.
They had quite a few people that they needed to have trained, and we were more than happy to help. We trained them based on what program they were hired into. So if they were hired in to be a district inspector, we trained them on foods and pool inspections. And if they were hired into one of the specialty programs like land use, we trained them on solid waste or medical waste.
When I went to San Bernardino, they needed assistance with routine inspections, food facility inspections, and I was given this long list of facilities to inspect, and I thought, okay, this is great. I've got this list. I'm going to knock it out. I'm going to do as many inspections for them as I can, and I was assigned the area that the terrorist worked in.
I think given the unique nature of this situation, a lot of emotions came to the forefront when help was asked from the very beginning. This was unlike any situation professionally that I had ever been a part of. I knew most of the affected plan checkers from the event, and as such, especially when the unique nature of something like terrorism is thrown in there, for me personally, it really made me want to help, and it was something where I almost felt that it was a necessity.
I decided to volunteer for San Bernardino assistance because I was born and raised in San Bernardino. I grew up there, and a day or two before it happened, I had just gotten an email from Robert Adams in the San Bernardino Plan Check office, and when I found out that he was one of the victims, we were all really shaken. Of course, we're shaken by all of the victims, but that really affected me to have that immediate conversation the day before he had passed away or was killed, actually. Really compelled me to go and help if I could.
Anytime any tragedy strikes somebody close to you, you feel the need to help. In this instance, we certainly could step in and help since it was doing our job just in another county. Our whole entire staff has been very willing to help. Everybody understands what needs to be done, and it does make you feel like you are making a positive impact.
We don't grade, and San Bernardino does. So learning the grading system, as well as the challenges of posting grades, is a big difference as far as Orange County, that we don't have to do that. So that was a real eye-opening experience for me, since I've never worked in a county that does grading.
Every day was a new day. We had to constantly reassess the situation and our obligation to respond to different events and reprioritize throughout the day to meet the needs for the community and the department.
Most days we didn't know what staff would show up. Jeff and I were there in management positions. What was really needed was field staff, somebody to go back out there.
Managing the data too is another challenge at times. Even though we use the same program to manage our data that they do, we use it differently in our jurisdiction. So even though we had access to their database, navigating it was a challenge at times as well.
Probably the biggest challenge is understanding how this department does business under normal circumstances, but even more importantly, how they've had to modify their ways of doing business in order to deal with these, what I would call extraordinary circumstances. Coming from being a director, where you are responsible for absolutely everything, to working as a supervisor where I'm only responsible for a portion, you sort of have to adjust your thinking a little bit. And so that's been my biggest challenge, actually, is to not just want to take over.
Probably the biggest challenge we had was training the staff quickly and well. From the beginning, we took a holistic approach to their training so that they had a good foundation. We wanted to make sure that they would not only be good inspectors for San Bernardino, but that they would have a solid foundation for their entire career. And we had to do this in a short amount of time.
So my experience as a whole has been, it's been good. It's been great to see how other counties interact with each other. You're getting good feedback. There's people here from all over and so many different experiences.
I had contractors crying in my arms. I had members of the public, owners and operators, crying in my arms. Oftentimes, the first 30 minutes of my inspection would be just sitting there and listening to them explain how they had just talked with some of the fallen plan checkers, some of them a couple of days before.
You know, people want to talk to you about it. They want to ask you about it. You're the first face they're seeing after the incident. They want to relay to you stories of things that they've heard that have happened, people that had been killed, families that had been affected.
Our presence there was beneficial to San Bernardino County, to the employees, to their department, to their community, and also to our own employees and our own department.
It was a good experience for me overall. I was able to make new friendships and solidify some old ones as well. And along with our team, as they continue to work with their team, there's friendships that are being forged, professional relationships that'll be beneficial for both jurisdictions from this point forward.
I think what I like to say about the regular employees is that they are very courageous folks. They've been dealing with a lot of issues separate and apart from work, but they're very determined to make it work. So we are beginning to turn the corner, and I think that it's been working out pretty well.
For us to get back to the root basis of what we do, which is serving the public, to ensure that facilities out there are going to be operated in a healthful manner. It was very, very good to see that despite the tragic circumstances, we could all come together and in a lot of respects come out better than we were before. I know that there's been a fostering of help between the two counties that I've never seen before in 15 years. And I think that going forward, the payoff is going to be that a lot of these counties are going to continue to work more closely and not be so isolated as they were before.